but we're the greatest nation on earth. I love this country. I love you. Get out to vote. Thank you. God bless you, and God bless America.
Hi, this is Josh Marshall from TPM Media. It's Thursday, September 18th, 2008. As you may know, blogs like TPM and America Blog have been reporting on an interview that John McCain gave yesterday to the Miami affiliate of a Spanish radio station. Now, in that interview, John McCain seemed not to know who Spanish Prime Minister Zapatero was and seemed to have him confused with some left-wing anti-American strongman from Latin America. Now, you may not have heard the actual exchange, so we're going to play the interview, the audio of the interview, which was conducted in English, along with the transcription of exactly what McCain and the interviewer said. Now, this passage comes right after the interviewer has asked McCain about Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, Raul Castro in Cuba, and the present situation in Bolivia. So she's been asking about a series of Latin American leaders who John McCain doesn't think very highly of. Now she switches to Spain, as you'll hear right here, and then after that she keeps asking the question again to try to focus McCain on the fact that she's not talking about someone from Latin America, she's talking about Europe and the Prime Minister of Spain.
Senator, finally, let's talk about Spain. If you're elected president, would you be willing to invite President José Luis Rodríguez Zapatero to the White House to meet with you?
I would be willing to meet with those leaders who are friends and want to work with us in a cooperative fashion. And by the way, President Calderón of Mexico is fighting a very, very tough fight against the drug cartels. And I'm glad we are now working in cooperation with the Mexican government on the Merida plan. And I intend to move forward with relations and invite as many of them as I can, of those leaders, to the White House.
Will that invitation be extended to the Zapatero government, to the president itself?
Honestly, I have to look at the relations and the situations and the priorities, but I can assure you I will establish closer relations with our friends, and I will stand up to those who want to do harm to the United States of America. I know how to do both.
So you have to wait and see if he's willing to meet with you, or you be able to do it in the White House?
Well, again, I don't, all I can tell you is that I have a clear record of working with leaders in the hemisphere that are friends with us and standing up to those who are not, and that's judged on the basis of the importance of our relationship with Latin America and the entire region.
Okay, what about you? I'm talking about the President of Spain.
What about me, what?
Okay, are you willing to meet with him if you're elected president?
I am willing to meet with any leader who is dedicated to the same principles and philosophy that we are for human rights, democracy, and freedom, and I will stand up to those that do not.
Now, the McCain campaign has been forced to respond to this, and McCain foreign policy advisor Randy Schuneman has put out a series of statements in which he says that McCain didn't misunderstand anything. He knew exactly who he was talking about, and he meant to deliver this fairly belligerent message about a NATO ally, Spain. Now, there are a couple of problems with this. The first is that at a couple points in the back and forth between McCain and the interviewer, he seems to say pretty clearly that he thinks he's talking about a leader from Latin America. Here's one of those passages when the interviewer has come back at McCain and asked him if he really means that Zapatero will not be invited to the White House. And McCain says this: "All I can tell you is that I have a clear record of working with leaders in the hemisphere, i.e. the Western Hemisphere, that are friends with us and standing up to those who are not. And that's judged on the basis of the importance of our relationship with Latin America and the entire region." So it's pretty clear that McCain thinks he's talking about a country and a leader from Latin America. Otherwise, there would be no point in saying that at all. He thinks that Zapatero is someone from Latin America, and apparently someone that America doesn't think too highly of. Now, here's the second problem. It's true that the Bush administration and a lot of the neoconservatives in Washington don't like Zapatero that much. And there are a couple different reasons, but the main one is that after he was elected, he pulled Spanish troops out of Iraq. So they're not crazy about Zapatero, but John McCain back in April said explicitly that he wanted to invite Zapatero for an official visit to the United States, i.e. to the White House. What it all seems to boil down to is that John McCain got confused, whether that's because he couldn't remember who Zapatero was or because he had a hard time understanding the accent of the interviewer. One way or another, he clearly wasn't clear who he was talking about and was sort of winging it and responding off the cuff. Unfortunately, rather than admitting this, the response of the McCain campaign, and particularly Randy Schuneman, the foreign policy advisor, is to escalate this and prefer to have a diplomatic incident with Spain rather than just admit that McCain got confused. We'll keep following the story at talkingpointsmemo.com. I'm Josh Marshall from TPM Media, and we'll talk to you next week.